understand what is a career, why, how career can be defined, right? So we need to understand what exactly is a career. Career is basically an occupation undertaken for a significant period for a person's life and with opportunity for progress. So remember two things, two keywords. It undertaken for a significant period of in life, a person's life, and it is having an opportunity for progress. It will give you some progressive opportunities, right? So these two are the two keywords which define a career. But sometimes most of the students or young minds they are in dilemma like what to do or do what you love or love what you do. So there is a thin line of differentiation between these two words like do what you love and love what you do. There is a small difference between whether you are uh, following your passions or you are following to get more money or to get more power. So there are a lot of dilemmas has come out. So sometimes what happens, we generally ignore what is our passion and we try to rush behind something which is the need of the hour according to us. But does how it makes sense in the long run, how it will be helpful for us or to the society, that we need to understand. So transforming passion to profession is the first thing you need to understand. If you are, I know you are young minds and everybody is passionate towards your job, towards your work, towards your subjects. So are you passionate about some specific thing and are you going to transform your passion to profession? Believe me, we look for a profession which may give high income, social status, working for a reputed company. There are so many criteria, parameters where we are looking for a profession, right? So, what exactly we should look, or what is the need of the hour? How we can uh, broaden our perspectives towards looking at a career. So, we need to allow our passion to become our profession. But within passion and profession, there is something called purpose. You know, the word purpose has a huge connotations. Like when you are transforming your passion to profession, it is not that easy. It's just like a transformation of caterpillar into a butterfly. But it's not that difficult, it's not impossible. It requires a lot of dedication, it requires a lot of effort. And it must be connected by your purpose. Without a purpose, you may not able to transform the passion into profession. So there should be a purpose in your life. Now, how we are defined, how you are making sensible towards a purpose. So let us look into that perspective. So to answer all those questions, we need to have a self-assessment. So what is a self-assessment? A self-assessment starts with the basic question, who we are. You need to ask yourself, who are you? Who are you? How you are going to introspect yourself. You need to discover yourself with your skill and ability. You need to assess how good you are in that skill. Then you need to think about, is it your passion? Is it going to be a profession? Or are you going to look a long-lasting careers with this? You need to understand at what you are good. Sometimes what happens, we are fall short of our self-introspection. Sometimes we don't understand or we misguided or we misinterpret our skill and competency. We are good at something, but we are not able to identify and we used to do something else. So try to understand in which skill sets, in which competencies you are good at. If you are enjoying that, you love to do that, Without enjoyment, you may not be good at something. So enjoyment and to should good at something must be goes or correlated simultaneously. It must go uh, in the same path. You need to understand in which subject or domain you are good at. If you feel that you are good at coding, what kind of new innovations you are going to bring? Are you able to make a good applications? What would be the forerun of these applications? How it will be able to solve certain issues that you are looking for? What are the challenges behind that? You need to look at all those things and you have to find what is your favorite subject or domain. That can be anything. And for everything, you must have a role model. There is a person to whom you are following, right? Everybody has a role model. So try to read his or her biography and see what kind of attributes you have common with him. If you all ask even Bill Gates, he is having a role model. If you ask Elon Musk, he is having a role model. Because that is the guiding force that silently guides somebody to fulfill your long-term objectives. Try to read about him or her, see what kind of attributes he is having. Do you have those kind of attributes? How to inculcate those attributes that you need to look at. So these are some parameters to access yourself. Now, what is the techniques? What is the tools you need to have to access yourself? You must have something called SWOT analysis. So, in management science, basically, when we are trying to do something in a company, we basically use this strength, weakness, opportunity. But believe me, SWOT analysis can applicable to the individual also. And this self-introspection can better percolates in terms of this SWOT analysis. So you need to understand what is your current strength is, where you are very good at, what are your weakness, how you are, is there any possibility that you can work on your weakness to make it some, strength, or you can what are the opportunities you can reach out to justify your objectives. So you have able to identify the possible opportunities in the environment and what kind of threats you have which going to hinder you think for your long-term objective. So identification of strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats are the basic way or the techniques where you can make an self introspection. So it basically helps you to bring clarity and direction to your career. That's where a personal SWOT analysis is very, very important. You can sit for an hour in a room alone. You can have a paper. You can identify where you are good at, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunities for your long-term goals, what are the threats you might, and how to overcome this. Now, why I am talking about entrepreneurship? In the last couple of years, we have gone through a lot of socio-economic challenges, and there are many factors that have been associated with this. So there are millennials, this millennials generations, people are more inclined towards creativity, towards innovation. But does the environment, does the economic factors supporting those things? You are young mind, you know how much ideas every day you are you know having with you. But sometimes most of the idea remain dormant, remain latent because there are certain factors within us or from outside that inhibits or uh, influence our idea to becoming a proposal, right? So why entrepreneurship is required? It is for the people who are having idea and how they need to flourish with the idea. As I said, every professional attempts to solve some problem uh, in the individual level or in the society level. So, uh, for those kind of domain or those kind of objectives, you need to understand what you are exactly you are looking for and how you are going to solve those. The challenge is in converting this ability of yours into business opportunity. Ultimately, how you are making it or going to scale up, right? How you are going to fructify your idea. That is the basic challenge. And sometimes, even without thinking, we stop. We just thought, give one thought or two thought. We just talk 1 or 2%, then um, we may not get sufficient, boost, maybe in terms of support, maybe in terms of self-moral boost to fructify our idea. So, a entrepreneurial mindset in you can ignite that power. Now, how to get that? Do you have that? Of course, if you are creative enough, you must have that entrepreneurial mindset. Even you don't have, it takes a little bit of effort to inculcate, cultivate within you that particular entrepreneurial mindset. So, who is an entrepreneur? He must be an innovator, a source of new ideas, good services, and business or procedures. Anything who is going to bring some changes in terms of some positivity, bring some positivity, giving economy a boost, giving a positive aspects in the economy, can be an entrepreneur or entrepreneurial idea. An entrepreneur is an individual who creates a new business, bearing most of the risk and enjoying most of the reward. These two words is the basis to understand or to think, to give a second thought about being an entrepreneur. You must have to bear a bit of risk, and if you can bear it, you can able to engage the reward. Now, what is a risk? Risk may not be only financial. Risks may be emotional. Risks may be personal. Risks may be social. And in the same way, rewards just may not be economic reward or monetary reward. Rewards may be self-actualizations. If you feel that you are doing something, or you are contributing something for the society, for some people that might be the biggest reward. And of course, monetary reward is there. You have the monetary rewards, but that may not account of only parameters to judge the reward, or individual motivation. So, looking at the entrepreneurial mindset or what entrepreneurs can do, we know that they plays a key role in any economy using the skills initiatives necessary to anticipate need and bring good new ideas to market. If you look at the economy, all new creations in the last couple of years, like we have a popular saying that necessity is the mother of inventions. When you feel that we need something to do and we found that something is necessary for us, we start our brain to work more, or we can think more about the thing. We can apply our creativity, and we have seen that many young mind has come out with most wonderful idea and that disrupt the market. I'll show you how with some Indian examples. I'll not talk about the global examples because we are in India, and in my next couple of slides, I'll talk about why India is being a best place to think and nurture about new idea. Entrepreneurs who proves to be successful in taking on the risk of startup are rewarded with profit, fame. When I was talking about profit, it is just not just financial profit. It takes fame and continued growth opportunity, the sustainabilities in growth opportunities. All these things comes. Those who fail may suffer losses, but can gives a lot of learning experience. Believe me, there are a lot of entrepreneurs in India who are very much successful, they have not success. They never get succeeded in the first attempt, but they never say that that first failure or second failure was a big for them. It gives them a lot of insights how to bounce back and go to the next level. And of course, that was very rewarding. So if you look at some of the statistics, the entrepreneurship growth in India, just see the graph. It talks about the East India, West India, North India, and South India, and how the growth graph has been goes up. If you looked at the government policies in the last 5, 10 years, or from 1990s towards to 2020, we have seen a upward growth in the entrepreneurship um, domain. Like people are being promoted to establish their new venture, and the economy itself witnessed the whole phenomenon in the last decades. So that clearly indicates that the society or the socio-economic uh, society of India or the economy or the government, whoever that may be, are very much supporting towards this phenomenon. Maybe down the line up before 20 years, it was not that supportive. That's why there is no such, growth rate has been evident. But if you looked at the post 90s, because post 90s has been evident by or witnessed by one of the most prominent event in the economy, that is the second generation reform, and that negates the idea of growth. And entrepreneurship is the perfect mediator to bring that idea into reality. State-wise startup ranking, if we looked at all the state almost have a substantial number of startups, whether it's a very small states like the Northeast, or if you looked at Maharashtra, if you looked at Gujarat, if you looked at Kerala, the number is very much promising, and that shows how the startup are being promoted in Indian economy in the last uh, 1 year. Now, we are very blessed with having a diversified, uh, demographically diversified society like India. And of course, it is our strength. As populations in countries such as China, US, and Japan are getting older, we are blessed that our population is getting younger. In coming 15 years, the population of working Indians will be around 400 million. And these are the advantage which going to fetch us a better lifestyle, a better economy, and a better world. We have uh, seen so many entrepreneurs who succeeded in their ventures. The best example you must heard of Oyo Room. The CEO is Ritesh Agrawal. He hails from one of the marginal, district, very poor district from Odisha, and there was a time where the cholera was being eradicated in the World Health Organization, but in that particular state of Rayagada or Koraput, the cholera was still existing. That kind of backwardness was there. But just believe me, Ritesh Agarwal belongs to that kind of district, but he has a buck in his mind. He has the aggressiveness of do something. He has some good idea, and he want to do something. And that down the line, he came out with a wonderful idea that is in the name of Oyo Room that made it or made everyone proud. Oyo Room was nothing but an idea to create India's largest chain of efficient young standardized room with an intention to build the fullest chain of no add-on room which might not have hygiene, etc. like the star hotels. But to live up to the basic standards and high expectations for prices like never before. Now, he is the person who understood the need of the common Indian. A common Indian never look for a spa gym whenever he is going for outing or whenever he is for some official purpose to stay in a hotel. But they need minimum of thing, a standard room. And when we understand this requirement, he try to stipulate it with his idea of this chain of hotel guru and how it has been exist in the market and taken the market not only in India, it was spread across the world. That was the biggest advancement of the idea or the thought process. Vikas Agrawal with net worth of more than 1.2 billion in this days. The next person I am going to talk about is Byju's, who made a disruption in the education in India. It is founded by Baiju Ravindra, who born in 1981 in Kerala. He was not from any ICSE or CBSE school. He was from the Kerala Medium School, a local medium school, working in multinational shipping company as a service engineer. But he has an expectation, he has a desire to go to the best B school. So he attended the CAT exam with 100%. But he realized that if he joined the B school, best B school, with this percentile, it will solve or it will just facilitate his goal. But what about the dream that he has built up to make a bigger, companies like Byju's? So he didn't join any B school, rather he helped the other CAT aspirants to becoming to clear the CAT exam and started giving coaching. So he went from teaching a few friends to teaching hundreds of students in a large auditorium and taking classes through slide communication. And with this, he started fructifying his idea. He set up Think and Learn in 2011 to offer online lessons before launching his main application in 2015. He started Byju's entrance students for Indian examinations like IIT, JET, NET, CAT. Of course, it gives a you know uh, guidelines for international uh, competitions like GREs and GMATs. But apart from that, Baidu is now taking the primary school and secondary school education is also into it. So that is how it has been becoming a disruption, and people are wholeheartedly accepting these services. Today, Byju's has grown into a world most successful edu tech startup with 33 million users and 2.2 million paid subscribers. According to data available as of July 2020, its valuation has quadrupled in the past, and it is sort of the top five most valuable internet company in the country. And the present value of this unicorn company is $3.6 billion. That shows how it has been accepted by the society and how it was a strong idea to interrupt. Another company that I am talking about is Lenskart. Lenskart is a prescriptions eyewear retail chain. You must have seen ads of Lenskart. As of September 2019, Lenskart has over stores of 70 cities. They are almost in every cities of India. Its manufacturing facility is in Delhi, which manufactures almost 3 lakhs glasses a month. It was also founded by one of the former Microsoft employees and alumni of IIT. And by 2020, it generated total revenue of more than 1,000 crore. So, giving all this entrepreneurs achievement is in mind, what made them to quit their job and think about something they want to contribute to the society? It is nothing but their interest, their belief in ourselves, and they have something in their mind, what is called an idea. And they never made that idea die in their mind rather than bringing it to fructify or bringing it to the limelight and try to aerate that idea and make it to a big tree, right? So bringing or transforming that seed into a tree requires lots of effort, requires little bit of attention from the government, but the government is providing, and of course a guideline, a mentoring, a nurturing in every stage. Now, looking at all these things, there are students, there are young minds who might have those aspects or those ideas in their mind, but they never thought of that. So once they thought of that, a lot of doubts, the decision-making phenomena comes into interplay. That how to fructify, or how to make it one of the best idea, or how to make it a reasonable idea out of this, reasonable venture out of this. So coming to EDI, EDI is such an institution where we generally provide uh, the entrepreneurial education, which supports entrepreneur with our knowledge, with our uh, activities. So our motto is entrepreneurship are not born, but they can be made true. It try to fulfills the dreams of becoming an entrepreneur with a vision to retain global leadership in fostering and developing entrepreneurship. We try to retain the leadership by fostering, nurturing, developing, or mentoring entrepreneurs. Our mission to become a catalyst in facilitating emergence of competent first generation entrepreneurs and transition of existing SMEs to growth-oriented enterprise through entrepreneurial education, training, research, and institute. So we are not only just education, we are into training, we are into research, we are into the last but not the least institution building. If the idea is, so if somebody is coming with an idea, we will help them to nurture that idea to make it into a institution. Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India has basically certain programs like we provide PGDME, that is postgraduate diploma in management entrepreneurship, which is for new ventures and for family business, those who are having existing business, how they can scale up those business, how they can take it into a new way, keeping the global context, global challenges in mind. So we are taking care of those through this program. It is very much a highly accredited programs with the uh, support of All India Council of Technical Education's approval and Association of Indian Universities recognized FDA. So we are blessed to have promoted by IDBI, IFCI, ICC banks, most and ISBI bank, the most prominent bank in terms of their presence in India. We rank among top 25 in the self-finance institute category, and we have also won certain awards like AICTE awards of supporting startups. We are having a past history of we can support startups, we can support the maximum startup, we nurture, we mentor the startups. These are certain of our achievement in terms of our presence in this entrepreneurial area, and that is evident from those achievements. We are blessed with the governing bodies myriad from myriad areas, and these are the list of our governing bodies who support us, who guide us, who mentor us. Uh, the whole activities of PTIs has been compartmented into five core areas like education, areas on knowledge building, advocacies, policies, in terms of policies, and research. We have one you know, compartment for handling the projects, department for handling the projects, and we are into the national and international outreach, for business development and economic engagement. So we have a very specific institutions within EDI which take care of mentoring the startups in the name of Cradle. We generally mentors and nurture the new startups. So in case you have some idea or somebody is having idea, they can come here, they can take the guidance from the experts, and they can facilitate that. Our academics is basically a 2 years program, that PGDME program, which I have already mentioned, with specialization of family business and new enterprises. The way you need to enter is through the competitive exam, either it's in the form of common admission test or LAT or CMAT or RCET. We have a like strong intensive rigor of 2 months like the MBS, but here we are very much focused at how you are going to make your ideas scale up in this platform of 2 months duration of intensive program. So it gives a trust to the objective of the programs, and keeping the goal of new venture creations of the students in mind, we design the internship program. The curricular activities is like mixed up both classroom and outside school, and it consists of live project, internship, visit to industries, workshops, independent study. They need to have something, they need to create something of their own business situations, and interaction with the existing entrepreneurs, sharing their ideas, or how the entrepreneurs are looked into their ideas. All these interactions will definitely give them a huge leverage in the future. We have faculties from different domain, which again add values to our academic curricula and other departmental activities. So we have a vibrant campus life, having like a very active lots of activities with huge, highly modernized infrastructure facilities. We have we try to maintain the work-life balance with all type of activities, whether it is related to academics or even non-academics, just to maintain the work-life balance. So these are some of the snaps which shows the vibrancy in the campus. The campus utilities comprised of the computer labs, the 24 hours Wi-Fi connected campus, uh, the new enterprise creation clinics where you got supports, family business clinic, canteen area, visit facilities, and 24 hours medical facilities is very much available over here. Our library is very active, having a strong resource with 33,000 plus books, 150 plus journals and magazines, and a sophisticated digitalized library. If you look at our alumni, there are some of the prominent alumni who are, you can find them in Google also. They are flourishing in the Indian, ecosystem, economic ecosystem, and they are doing great job taking the ADI's name into the higher fields. So these are some of the alumni again. We are not just a single entity, rather we believe in collaboration, sharing knowledge, and that makes us feeling proud to be collaborating with so many higher educational institutions, including IIMs, universities, government universities, Deva universities, degrees. So these are some of the names. So in this technological era, there is no, point of asking how to apply for a PGP programs. Everything is there. Everything is very much ID driven. So you need to register and fill up the application form and upload the documents with the application's details. And it is like you have to face a personal interview to any means, whether it's offline or online. Then the selection process or selection board is going to decide whether you can enroll or not. This is our whereabouts. Thank you. If you have any questions, you are free to ask. Lalit sir, if you want to add something, I would request you to add.
He, I guess he is not there in the program. Participants, if you have question, you can write or you can raise your hand. I can connect you to the resource person if you want to directly connect. We have some time. So if you have some pressing questions, you can ask to the resource person.
नहीं मिल ही नहीं रहा है 2 मिनट करा दो फिर मैं दोबारा करूंगी मेरी दोबारा क्लास है
Bhaskar sir, can you hear me? Bhaskar sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay.
I can hear you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
So,
sir.
I was just inviting some questions. If they have, that means participants have questions. They can. I can see one and raise hand is appearing on the chat box. Let me see. If there is any question, you may ask. I am requesting you, dear participants, you may ask some questions if you have, or we will move and close the session here if you are not having questions. So I guess the one question which has appeared by Subdeep Chaudhary, sir, which business opportunity can flourish in the COVID situation?
Can I make an attempt?
Yes, sir.
See, Shubhadeep, there are so many things we have faced in the last 2 years. You have seen there are a lot of healthcare related services or product deliveries that has been being a part of the last 2 years new ventures creations, and government also supported a lot towards healthcare service or healthcare product. So if you have some idea like how you are going to pitch in keeping the complexities of the economy or the situation, social situation or the healthcare situation is in mind, there are many areas where we can so one of the best area is in healthcare. And when I'm talking about healthcare, I am not just confined to manufacturing the mask or those kind of things. It is more into that, like providing services. Even there are people who are suffering and they need a small consultations getting the right information. So there are so many areas where information technology can be used as a tool to bring some positivity in the socio-economic ecosystem.
Thank you, sir. I guess I have written, dear students, participants, if you think that you are not able to ask now, if you have a questions later on, or anytime if you find that there are questions related to the startups or maybe incubation of idea or turning ideas into a commercial venture, we would be happy to help you in any way if we are uh, in a position to help you. So I would like to thank you all. The one question which has been appeared here is that, can you please tell us some government supporting institution that they help in startups? So
Yes. So I told you, even EDI is doing the lot of mentoring and giving helping hand to the young minds who are having ideas. But you can't expect EDI is going to pay you or EDI is going to provide you loan. Yes, based upon your idea, based upon your proposal, EDI is going to help you how you get the loan or how you get the fund. So apart from that, there are many other, authorities who are being a part of the stakeholder to get, your idea into a scale of business. So EDI is one of the most, and we are very much into entrepreneurship development activities. So if somebody is here, we are giving a free hand to how to establish a business, how to establish a venture, and how to nurture, how to mentor it. Those supports we generally provide.
thank you, sir. As I was telling all the participants that if you have any questions related to incubation or maybe the startups or turning ideas into a commercial venture, I have written my email ID. If you anytime if you feel that you need to uh, try or maybe test or maybe take the opinion from experts, we would be happy to help you. And with this, I would like to thank you all for attending the program, and a special thanks to Bhaskar sir, because and Preeti ma'am also, because they were crucial in executing this program. And I'm also thankful to University of Engineering and Engineering and Management, uh, because they provided us opportunity and platform to interact with young mind. And a special thanks to participants who maintain the decorum of the session and listen patiently to the resource person. Thank you, Bhaskar sir, Preeti ma'am, and
Thank you.
thank you, Saswat sir.
Yes, sir. It was a great talk. Thank you, Dr. Sashwat, for sparing time for us. And sir, without Binod sir, it is not possible to conduct this wonderful session. Thank you. Special thanks to Binod sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you all. With this, we would like to close the session here. Have a nice day. आपका दिन शुभ हो. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.